Hello, and thank you for taking some time to view this video on our new user interface. This user interface is going to be very different than what we've used in the past. So the purpose of this video is to give you a nice overview of a few things. So let's take a peek at a few things that you can expect to learn from this video and series of videos. So we're going to have a peek at navigating the new user interface. And again, there's going to be some changes that you might not be familiar with from previous Samsung machines, but there are some familiarities, and of course we'll touch on those. We'll talk about some new user interface features, okay? So some things that are different, very different from the previous machines that you've seen. Again, not just the way you can do things, but just brand new features and functionality. Then, of course, we'll review some general functionality. Talk a little bit about how you can make a copy, send a fax, some of your general functions that you can expect to use on a day-to-day basis. Then, we'll discuss our device management. So changing settings, IP address, and things of that nature, and have a good look at that. And finally, the relevant models, as you can see in this list. So you see the first item in that list, the SL-M 4580 and 4583 FX, which happens to be the unit I'm using for demonstration. And then the other models below it are just higher end models that we'll be releasing throughout Q3, end of Q3 and Q4 of 2014. So you can expect to see this on a few different machines. Now, some of the new features here, we have a Droid or tablet or smartphone kind of menu layout. So it's an intuitive design. Considering the amount of people out there that have either a Droid-based smartphone or tablet, this should be an easy transition as far as using this new user UI. We also have home screen shortcuts that will make life very easy for commonly used functions, as well as home screen widgets. Again, just like you might expect to see on your typical Droid-based tablet or smartphone, we do also have widgets for this new copier or MFP device. So let's have a look at this new user interface. So as you see here on the display, we have a typical layout on a standard Droid tablet. You can slide and swipe through different menu pages. Again, you saw an example of a widget there. We'll talk more about that later. And you have your main icons down here at the bottom for easy access. We also have, if you hit in the upper right, we have a drop-down, which will now allow us to adjust our screen brightness, clear any potential error codes that may be listed, see our toner levels, log in as an administrator or as a regular user, as well as a link to our settings. And these are active, so if I went to this warning, I can hit that, and it will now tell me, in this case, that my network cable is disconnected. I'll just hit my little home icon, and that will bring me back to my main home page. And I also do have that little back icon as well, again, just like you would see on your tablet. Furthermore, we have the apps section, which, again, you're not going to be able to play Angry Birds on this. However, you will be able to find certain address book, box, calculator, just some minor little apps that you wouldn't typically find on a copier. Some of these may be filtered out when it comes to mass production firmware. Now, like on a Droid tablet, I can now simply press and hold a particular icon and drag it back to my home screen, just like that. And once it's on my home screen, I may also press and hold and drag and move it to a place of my choosing. So from what we've seen so far, a lot of this should be very familiar to those of you out there with a Droid-based tablet or smartphone. So it makes life a lot easier to get used to this new display and ultimately using it in your day-to-day operations.